Let us start with fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are necessary for the success of a democracy. These rights help in achieving individual welfare. Social, political, economical freedom is necessary to the citizens in order to develop themselves. So that why these rights help in achieving individual welfare. Earlier, 7 fundamental rights were registered under the Constitution. Later, as per the 44th Amendment Act, the right to property has been abolished. The right to property has been abolished from the Constitution. At present, there are 6 fundamental rights incorporated in our Constitution. Let us discuss these rights. So, the first one is the right to equality. The right to equality, Articles 14 to 18 of our Constitution define about right to equality. The Constitution has declared all citizens are equal before law. No one may be discriminated against on the grounds of caste, creed, race, gender and place of birth. Even it applies in the matter of education and employment. The state will provide all citizens equal protection of law. Everyone is protected equally. The practice of untouchability is punishable offence. The practice of untouchability is not allowed in the country. The Constitution has abolished this practice in the country. So all are equal in the country. So that is about right to equality. The next one is right to freedom. Articles 19 to 22 of our Constitution states about right to freedom. Our Constitution guarantees 6 different freedoms to promote ideal state of liberty. Democracy cannot exist without individual freedom. So, these freedoms are necessary for the citizens. So, then in what aspects they are enjoying freedom? So, let us see these. These are some aspects where people or citizens are enjoying freedom. Let us discuss these aspects. So, right to freedom of speech and expression, right to assemble peacefully and without arms. Next, right to form associations and unions, right to move freely throughout the territory of India. Next, right to reside and settle in any part of India. The next one is right to practice any profession, occupation, trade or business. Let us see these one by one. Right to freedom of speech and expression. This right allows us to express ourselves freely without hurting or harming anyone. It means in news daily we can see so many people are talking about different subjects. They are giving public speech or expressing their opinion in front of the media. They are talking about different subjects. They are talking against the government. They are talking against any political party. They are talking against the work of any individual. But in the name of freedom, they should not talk against the country. In the name of freedom, they should not talk against the country. They should not call slogans against the country. These are punishable offense. We should not talk against the country, and even we should not talk against Prime Minister or President by using some vulgar In the name of freedom of speech, we should not talk against the country. Even it also defines certain limitations. It also includes the right to free and compulsory education of all children between 6 to 14 years. According to RTE, right to education, so children are enjoying compulsory and free education between 6 to 14 years. We must use these freedoms with cautions. We must use these freedoms with caution. So the next one is assemble peacefully. Next is right to assemble. Right to assemble does not mean we can create public disturbance and cause some problems for the others. So that why they are telling assemble peacefully and without arms. Without arms, why they are telling? If with arms they are permitting, so any time it returns to violent one. Any time it returns to violence. So that why they are telling assemble peacefully and without arms. Next is right to form associations and unions. Right to form associations and unions. So these associations and unions are very necessary in order to fight against injustice. Many such associations and unions we can observe in the society. For example, Teachers Association, Students Association, Labor Unions and even many more. Because we can't fight individually against the authority. So that why, so these associations and unions are necessary to fight against injustice. The next one is right to move freely throughout the territory of India. Citizens have right to move freely within the territory of India. Without any document, they can move. Citizens have right to move freely throughout the territory of India. While we crossing the state border, we need not to carry any documents with us. So we can move freely throughout the territory of India. So that freedom is given to the citizens. Next one, reside and settle in any part of India. Citizens are permitted to reside and settle in any part of India. For example, a person born in Kerala, he can settle in New Delhi. So people are permitted to reside and settle in any part of India irrespective of their birthplace. So this freedom is given to the citizens. Next one, citizens have right to practice any profession or occupation. They can practice any profession or occupation they desire. Even they carry on any trade or business. So they can practice any profession or any occupation. Even they can carry on any trade or business in the country. So citizens are enjoying these freedoms. So right to freedom means it also defines the aspects, in which aspects we are enjoying freedom, and even it also specifies limitations. So beyond this we should not act. The next one is right against exploitation. Articles 23 and 24 of our Constitution define about right against exploitation. It means the aim of this right is to prevent exploitation of women, children, the poor and the weaker section. Humans are exploited in different ways, like begging, child labor and So all such immoral activities are prohibited in the country. All such immoral activities are prohibited in the country, and even they are punishable under law. So this right helps to raise voice against such exploitation. So people can raise their voice against such exploitation. So the next one is right to freedom of religion. Articles 25 to 28 of our Constitution declares India as a secular country. Many religions are practiced in India. There is no state religion. No religion has been given the status of national religion. So all religions are enjoying equal status. So that one we can observe freedom of religion. People have right to practice and propagate any religion of their choice. Next one is cultural and educational rights. Articles 29 and 30 of our Constitution states that every citizen has right to develop and preserve their culture. Every individual has right to develop and preserve their culture. People belonging to different communities have right to establish their own educational institutions in the country. Community-wise, they can set up the educational institutions in the country. Next, even the government also helps and encourages these cultural activities of different communities and regions. Even government also supports for these cultural activities and even educational institutions. Next one is right to constitutional remedies. Article 32 of our Constitution safeguards fundamental rights by granting the right to constitutional remedies. It means if any government or any individual violates the rights of any citizens, so this right protect that citizen by against such violation. This right protect that citizen against such violation. A citizen can file a case against such a violation in a court of law. They can file a case against such violation in the court. Then the court has a right to uphold the court has authority to uphold the fundamental rights by issuing writs and orders. It warns the central government and state government. It warns any individual who violates the rights of any citizen and protect the fundamental rights of the citizens. So that why they are telling this right protects the other fundamental rights. This right is called as the protector of the other fundamental rights. Even remedies also mentioned in the Constitution against such violation. Up to now we learned about fundamental rights. Rights cannot exist in isolation. Rights and duties are interrelated. People understand the value of rights only if they are under the obligation to perform certain duties. Total 11 fundamental duties are listed under the Constitution. Let us discuss about these fundamental duties. The first one, to respect the Constitution, national flag and national anthem. So it is the duty of every individual respect the Constitution by following its laws. How we are giving respect to the Constitution? By following its laws, we should give respect to the Constitution. Next, we should give respect to the national flag and even national anthem also. So wherever flag hoist, we should give respect. And with respect, we should sing the national anthem. Next one, to follow the noble ideals that inspired our freedom struggle for freedom. There are certain ideals like democracy, non-violence, secularism that inspired our freedom fighters during the national movement. So we must respect those ideas and we must follow those ideas in our lives. The next one, to protect the integrity of India. We should protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of our country. We should protect the sovereignty. Sovereignty means no external power can control over us. We are free to govern ourselves. Next, we should protect the unity and integrity of the country. We should not do such things which break the country's unity. Next, fourth one, to defend the motherland when called upon to do so. So all of you keep your textbook open and observe the fundamental duties. So I am explaining here, so you should follow those statements. To defend the motherland when called upon to do so. Whenever required, we should prepare ourselves to show patriotism towards our country by defending it. Be ready to serve our country whenever called. And in talk also, we should defend our country. We should not give up our country. In normal talk also, always we should defend our country. Whenever it called, be ready to serve the nation. Next one, to promote harmony and spirit of brotherhood amongst all the people of India. We should develop harmony and brotherhood nature among ourselves. We should live like brothers and sisters. We should live with harmony. So that brings unity among the people. We should live like brothers and sisters. So that we are telling, promote harmony and spirit of brotherhood. We should develop that habit. So we should develop harmony and brotherhood nature. So that brings unity in the country. So where we feel united. Next one, to preserve our rich heritage. India is famous for its rich cultural heritage. So it is the duty of every individual preserve and protect that heritage. Like important temples, monuments, forts, palaces, buildings of historical importance. So it is the duty of every individual protect and preserve the heritage for the next generations. Next one, to protect and preserve the environment. India has abundant natural resources like forests, wildlife, next rivers, lakes. So it is the duty of every individual to protect and preserve these natural resources for the next generation. We should use it judiciously and we should preserve these natural resources for the next generations. So it is the duty of every individual to protect and preserve the natural environment. inquiry. We should accept the things only on scientific approach and not on the superstitious beliefs. So many superstitious beliefs are practiced in India. But we should accept the things only on scientific approach, not on superstitious beliefs. So that way they are telling, develop scientific temper and spirit of inquiry. Next duty is to safeguard our public property. We must take care of public property. After all, that is our money only. We pay tax, government by collecting the tax and provides infrastructure facilities to the people. So that is our wealth, that is country's wealth, nation's wealth. So that why it is the duty of every individual to protect and safeguard our public property. Next one, to strive towards excellence in all spheres. It means always you must try to achieve excellence in different fields. Maybe individually, otherwise maybe collectively. But try to achieve success or excellency in different sectors. We should give up some harmful practices, harmful social practices like dowry, alcoholism, gambling, drug addiction, even many more. We give up such harmful social practices and we should try to achieve excellency in different sectors. So it is the duty of every individual to achieve success in different fields. Next one, it is the duty of the parents to send their children to school. This duty is particularly to the parents. Parents' duty, parents or the guardians, their duty is to send their children to the school. According to Sarva Shikshana Abhiyan and according to RTE, Right to Education, every child has a right to get free and compulsory education. Age from 6 to 14 years, they have a right to get free and compulsory education. So it is the duty of the parent to send their children to the school. So these are the important and total 11 fundamental duties. As a citizen of India, being a citizen of India, we must perform these duties. So children, you have to list these duties, these 11 duties, and discuss about these points. Thank you, children.